right across the entire country, to the extent that even the ANC obviously have issued a statement in terms of offering their condolences. And this actually is just bears testimony to the fact that, who Karima was and what impact she has made in the world of journalism. Now, for you as a family, I know it hasn't been easy. It's been very, very difficult since we learned that she had obviously contracted COVID-19 and, being on a ventilator. And during the time, she was hospitalized.
Sure. So it's been a very difficult time for us in Niger, and the outcome of Karima succumbing to COVID-19 was a medical fight that she was always disadvantaged against because of several underlying conditions like asthma, etc., etc. So yes, in the last 2 weeks since she was admitted, we had been very worried because she had always been very afraid of this virus and what it could do to people with comorbidities.
Yes. Now, with the tributes that have been pouring in, Zain, and, many of us have learned and everybody has been talking about a tough person that she was. She did not back off in what she believed in. She believed in justice. She was very, very robust as a voice in the media. But as a family person, what was Karima Brown to you as a sister? What did it mean, having someone like Karima Brown in your family?
So it's difficult to separate Karima from the public persona that everybody has so loftily spoken about, and all the accolades of Karima that you've seen, that you have referred to from a broad spectrum of society, and from various people spanning different times in her life, is a testimony to who Karima was, not only outside but in the family. The same person that you guys have experienced on a professional and public level is the same person that we had experienced as a family. My sister was consistent in her beliefs and in her values that stretched beyond. For her, the personal was political and the political was personal. And I hear you talk about even the ANC sending a message of support or a note tributing her on her passing. And I must tell you that Karima was a lot more than what people have come to know in the later years. Karima has become a journalist in the later years of her life, and that fearless, fierce kind of attitude and approach to life and politics and the South African situation was the same kind of drive that and beliefs that she had even as a child growing up, even as a young teenager on the Cape Flats in Mitchell's Plain, joining the South African Youth Congress, being a leader in the Cape Youth Congress, which eventually led to the South African Youth Congress, which was the precursor to the ANC Youth League formation, because remember, the ANC was banned at the time. So Karima has a long history, not only of activism in this country. She was a part of the struggle against apartheid as a young woman, but she also became a contemporary piece of South African history. She lived half of her life through apartheid and the other half under a democratic dispensation. And in both those scenarios, the values that she espoused, the values that I can only underline, the values that has been recollected from her producer Clive, who I just heard now, from friends, from politicians, from all walks of life. This is the person that Karima was. The public person that you guys experienced is the same person that we experienced as a sister. But as a sister and as a matriarch of our family, my mom had passed on many years ago, and she, as the older sister, as the titi in our family, stepped up into that role. And so she was the leader of our family in a big way.
Mm. Well, Zain, certainly from what I hear, she was like a mother to all of you. And I know her passion for politics. And in the statement, the ANC speaks about your late father, and Allah grant him Jannah as well, who has sadly passed away just last year in April, and him
Mm.
also being a veteran of the ANC. And this is where we see this connection, this bond with politics and Karima as well.
Not just to politics, but a broader understanding of justice. And my sister believes that journalism is not devoid, that doesn't happen of the realities of South African life and politics. And more than that, she believes that journalism is a vehicle in the service of justice, and that journalism is a vehicle to give a voice to the voiceless. And it's that kind of ideological composure and clarity that guided her in her personal and professional life.
Well, I must say, a very, very powerful and a very, very profound ideal to basically hold on to and to propagate as well. And this is the reason why, everyone, even the ANC statement talks about her being fiercely independent, courageous, fearless, and uncompromising in her pursuit
She
of
was
the truth.
unafraid to speak. She was unafraid to speak truth to power because she understood how it worked. She understood. She was also a female black journalist coming from a background and that we were disadvantaged, and she was never expected or supposed to become the doyen of South African media as some outlets have described her. So in spite of all of those challenges, she had been a pioneering journalist and also pushing the envelope and pushing the boundaries of what our industry understands its role to be, because even the fourth estate today is under attack. Fake news is all around, and Karima Brown was a fierce fighter for the truth, a fierce fighter for justice. And part of her legacy is to leave a commitment to younger journalists. You will have seen across social media young people talking about Karima's mentorship and leadership skills, and that is but one of the things that she is known for. And so as a family, we feel profound sense of loss of a sister, a mother, a friend, a comrade. But we also understand and we are comforted by the amount of outpouring of love, support, and concern that we have seen from a broad spectrum of South African society. And it is affirmed, my belief, that my sister lived her life principally and always with a moral kind of direction and compass that saw her always fight for social justice, fight for the emancipation of the poor, and upholding ideals of freedom and justice.
Yes, Zain, Jazakallah khairan so much for them. And clearly, she has left a legacy. She has left her footprints in the sands of time, Alhamdulillah. And more importantly, our du'as are with you and the family. She has died as a shaheed in the time of the pandemic. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward her, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant her forgiveness, Allah fill her qabr was nur, inshallah. And to you,
Inshallah.
the family, Allah grant you lots of sabr. It's a great loss. We share in your grief as well. And please pass our best to your mom as well and to the rest of the family. We at Salam Media are obviously thinking of Karima Brown. She is in our du'as, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam, and thank you for the interview.
Did you know a sponsored water well and borehole allows children to go back to school, empowers communities, and is a means of sadaqah